Hello, my name is Xavier Brodwin. I am a grade 11 student from Central Technical School. My question for the male candidates is, what are your plans for housing across this city? Thank you.
I want to make sure that our youth don't get pushed out of the city, that our families don't get pushed out of the city. That is why we need to build more housing. My plan will build 285,000 new homes, including 57,000 rental homes. We need to reform planning. We need to reform the process so it happens quicker as well. Also, we can't just have 80-story towers and single-family homes. We need to make sure that we have our avenues with those 8 to 12 stories to give people more options. Like I did when I was a counselor and led the charge to make sure that we approve laneway housing and coach housing. We need people to have options to stay in our city. I will also make sure that more nonprofits have access to city land and have a fund to make sure that they are building as well to have deeper affordable housing.
Well, the idea of Toronto is built on the promise that if you want to live here, we want to have you. And yet I hear time and time again just how hard it is for young professionals, new Canadians, young families, and even seniors to find an affordable place to call home here in Toronto. And that's because we just don't have enough housing options. As an urban planner by training and someone who worked at City Hall, I can tell you how to fix it. We need more supply, more housing options for more people in more neighborhoods. I will unlock the missing middle so that in neighborhoods like this one, we have apartments that people can afford to live in. I will convert existing empty office space into residential units so we can add vibrancy and more people to the downtown. And I will make sure we're unlocking public lands so that we can build more affordable housing for more people.
Thank you for that question, because that is key and critical. When we talk about the state of affairs that Toronto is in right now, homelessness is one of the biggest social issues going on right now. City Hall, year after year, has neglected the importance of building. They have spoken about it for a long time, but never actioned it. As mayor, one of the things that I will do is make sure that I change the process. Right now, the process is not working well. Builders are not coming into our city. In fact, independent reviews has scored Toronto last. I will make sure that we are first. So many newcomers are coming into the city, and if they don't have a place to stay, this means affordability for everybody, for newcomers coming in, for our workforce that wants to come here and build, but also live in a city and have time to spend with their family. In order to do that properly, here's what I will do. Change the process so that it only takes 1 year for approvals to come in. I'll make sure that there is strong accountability with the builders and with City Hall. I will use digital technology to make sure that accountability is in real time and fix those issues that are a problem. I'll also work with other levels of government. For the federal government, I will ask them to remove HST tax for the large scale types of projects that are going on. And from a provincial level, I will make sure that they work in line so that we can meet our end goal of 285 new units and 40,000 affordable houses within our city. Present government right now has done it too slow. And what I'll tell you is this: I will make sure that we build, and we build fast, so that the homeless issue gets reduced, so that we can take care of everybody, whether it's supportive housing or affordable housing, to make our city the most vibrant city in Canada.
Families are stuck waiting for affordable housing. They're worried about rent going up, having to find another home, landlord not fixing things that needs to be repaired. My plan is to build 25,000 new rent-controlled homes with thousands of below-market rent on city-owned land. We also will keep rentals affordable by transferring them to nonprofit community groups. And we'll give people a little extra money towards their rent if they need the help.
Thank you, Central Tech, for the question. What am I going to do about housing in the city? I'm going to be taking action on protecting renters to make sure that they can make their rent every month in every way that the city can. And I have a plan for that on my website at votematlow.ca. I also have a plan to start building truly affordable homes on city properties across our city. People need to be able to rent a home that they can both afford month to month, but also that's deeply affordable, that's below market, and when it is at market, that it's rent controlled. I also am going to ensure that we have more options across our city where people can buy a home that they can afford. I've talked to so many young people who either can't make the rent or are leaving the city because they can't afford to buy a home in the community that they grew up in. That's got to change, and I have a plan to focus on both rental and home ownership in a genuine, substantive way that's paid for.
My plans for housing is to use new technologies like modular, prefabricated machines to print housing at a faster rate. This opportunity would allow us to provide housing within 9 months for a lot of our unhoused population that is currently just waiting for like the most basic forms of permanent shelter. If we can help our most vulnerable get off the street, it makes it a lot easier for all of us to work and live in peace. And then from there, I want to take the community assets that we have, like TTC, public library, and the community centers, and start building on top of those so that we can have workforce housing for our most essential workers. When it comes to young people under the age of 25, my plan for housing is to work directly with the colleges and universities to get more funding for apartments all across the city. You shouldn't have to live on campus to get a full Toronto experience. Toronto is everywhere. It's now a matter of you having affordable units throughout your entire university or college experience so that you stay in the city as opposed to looking for homes outside of Toronto.
How will you?
But Toronto is at a point where only people who are the wealthiest are able to buy a home in our city. The average rent is now $2,500 for a one-bedroom apartment. I have a plan to fix housing in our city, to build more affordable housing so that people can find a place to rent and also be able to put food on the table. I will also make sure that areas around campuses are zoned for student housing so young people can also have an affordable place to live. If we want to fix the six, Toronto has to be a place where young people who grow up here can afford to live here. And I have a plan to do just that.